Good morning. How are we all doing out there? Good. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living here in Granada Hills. If you were looking for O'Grady's, it's across the street. Everybody gets that joke. Sorry, everyone gets it. All right, so welcome. We welcome all who practice their beliefs. Can we turn this down a little bit, please? We welcome all who practice their beliefs in faith and love. And so we do take a moment to meet and greet each other with a handshake or a hug or a high five. Let's do that. So please help me welcome our presider this morning, Reverend Jessica Fish. Yeah, we'll give her a little. We use applause a lot here. All right, so let's all take a deep conscious breath as we bring the lights down just a wee bit. As we come together for our call to service, which we call lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all people, all faith, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this morning. So as Reverend Jessica lights the first candle, it's for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. The fourth candle we light for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. The sixth candle we light for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. The eighth candle we light for the universal religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light the 10th candle for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space we hold for them here at our center. And as Reverend Jessica lights a healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experience the healing flame of God's eternal love.
In this moment, in this place, I remember I am letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and I see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
Yes, there is only love, the presence, the infinite God. In God is the gravity that holds us all together, that we are one with God. There's nothing else but God. We don't get to choose where we see God. God is in everything that we do, we say, we see. And this service in particular, standing on the shoulders of the first service and the meditation preceding, is birthed out of that infinite love beyond what we can even imagine, infinite love. This co-creative spirit service, where we sit in our seats with our hearts open wide, just allowing, not grasping and looking for God. Right here, we know it. We have awakened to our spiritual magnificence, and we let it flow. I bless the audio-visual and the live streaming and our live streamers, our musical inspiration, the children's church, where they're learning what we're learning. And wouldn't it have been wonderful if I had known what I know now at 8 years old? So we could breathe this in love and we breathe out love, being very conscious and aware that this is God's life that we're living here in this service today. I am so very grateful for this spiritual community, to be with these spiritual giants here today in this service. And I know that Reverend Michael is just opening his heart, an open vessel for that which God has to flow through him to us in that circulation of love today. So I release my word into the acts of the law from which it came, knowing that it's done. And so we can all agree with this by saying, and so it is. So today I'm going to talk about something really kind of messy and juicy in our science of mind teaching. Science of mind and eating. I don't know what you guys were thinking about when I said messy and juicy, but I'm talking about eating. I had the privilege of joining our professional practitioners in training in their retreat last Thursday. It was a luxury day for me. I got to take the day off of work. We consciously put our cell phones away, and we immerse ourselves in the inner spaciousness of consciousness. So one of the exercises that we did was a 30-minute guided eating meditation. It was part of a workshop that I've done at several venues, Whole Foods and other centers for spiritual living. I've done it here twice, I think, yeah. And I've even done it up at the Silomar conference one year. Applying mindfulness to eating is a powerful way to awaken our spiritual magnificence, because it's something like breathing that we do daily. And in developing the Conscious Eating Workshop, I found that Ernest Holmes has much to say about eating. This is from our textbook. Food must be a spiritual idea. It must be an idea of substance and supply. And since food, which we take into our system, is fundamentally one with our body, which receives it, there's no reason in spirit why our food should harm us. There's an intelligence within us which guides us to a healthy eating lifestyle. And since each is an individual, the intaking of food is an individual idea and an individual approach to big R reality. We can trust that whatever our individual physical system needs to make it harmonious and whole and perfect, that this divine intelligence known as God will guide us to, if we allow it, that healthy lifestyle. I've watched many people in a conscious eating meditation have exactly the same food on their plate, but they each individualized their experience by choosing what they wanted to eat at what time. So, thinking is a nutritional choice. Negative thoughts about food directly inhibit digestion. We can't expect to have our food agree with us if we're constantly condemning it. As Ernest Holmes intimated, science has proved that positive thoughts about food enhance digestion. By rewriting our food-eating story, we literally transform our health, improve our digestion, enhance our calorie-burning capacity. We have the power to bless or curse our meals, thus affecting energetically our food, ourselves, our fellow humans. Blessing our food with love, truth, courage, commitment, compassion, forgiveness, faith, surrender, and other sacred qualities act as a healing catalyst in the body. Ernest Holmes also says, food is a symbol of God's love, care, and substance, and it should be eaten with thanksgiving. Food doesn't have to harm man, and we dishonor God when we fear food. By incorporating mindfulness into eating, even just one bite per meal, we can declare with Ernest Holmes, my food agrees with me and I agree with it. There is no condemnation in me or working through me. I understand that food is a spiritual idea of substance, and I am now in complete agreement with this idea. Both my appetite and the processing of the foods I eat are functioning in divine right order. Everything that I eat is perfectly assimilated and perfectly eliminated. Our bodies manifest symmetry and perfection. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Nice to see you. We're going to do something a little bit different. This time, please welcome Terry and Kale to the stage. They have their own group. They just recently performed at a Buddhist meditation temple. And their music is very meditative, contemplative type music. So I hope you enjoy it. And their group is called Parinama.
Thank you so much. I want to call Andrea up to do our announcements. There's some announcements.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody? Great. Good. My name is Andrea. I had the privilege of being at that practitioner in training retreat and bearing witness to that food eating contemplative meditation that Jessica facilitated. And it was hugely powerful. I just wish she had been with me that evening when I sat down to eat. It was a different experience. So welcome to this wonderful place known as the Center for Spiritual Living in Granada Hills. I was thinking about a song that I used to sing in a choir that I used to sing with. And one of the lines was, "Come all ye heavy laden, I will give you rest." And it makes me think about this place, because I find rest here and peace here and sustenance here. And I'm saying that for a number of reasons. Number one, it's because it's how I feel. Number two, it happens to be membership month. And if you're looking for a safe place to land and be fed spiritually, consciously, spiritually, then I invite you to consider joining us in membership. So having said all that, I will be in the foyer after service. We have a membership table set up. There is a requirement that in order to become a full-fledged member, that you attend the Discovery, it's called the Discovery class. We do it a few times a year. It just so happens we're doing it at the end of the month on July 31st. So if you're considering membership in a spiritual community and you would consider joining us, this is a good time to think about joining officially as a member, because we do have that class at the end of the month. So I'd also like to highlight some of the wonderful things that we do here. Really, the thing that I'm so excited about is Friday night, July 22nd. We have the Kirtan concert facilitated by our wonderful music director, Ken Francis. And that is going to start at 6:30 in the evening for refreshments, I believe. And then the concert will be from 7 to 8:30. And Kirtan, if you're not familiar with it, is a sacred ancient form of, really, it's a form of meditation and prayer in the call and response format. And it's wonderfully healing and deeply meditative and really fantastic. You might know Krishna Das, for example, does Kirtan, and I know that Ken is going to do a fantastic job at that. So please come join us for that. Sunday, as I mentioned, July 31st is the Discovery class. And then every Wednesday morning in July and August, our wonderful member, Nancy Shriver, is facilitating a Tai Chi class here at the center. But if you look in your program, a wonderful program that Nikki in the back helps us prepare every week. Thank you, Nikki. Inside the program, there is a list of some of the events that go on here every month. Every week there's something wonderful happening here. For a small community, we're mighty. And there's a lot that we offer, including meditation groups, visioning groups, drum circles with Terry, who just did that beautiful piece with Kale. Thank you for that. That was wonderful. There's animal kinship, A Course in Miracles. We have healing support, grief support. There's so much going on here. So please check us out a little more closely if you haven't done so already. And please consider joining in membership this wonderful community. Come all ye heavy laden, I will give you rest. Peace.
The next Paul Ryan of announcements. All right, so we're going to do our affirmations. Everybody please stand, move around a little bit, get the energy moving. Repeat after me. Here we go. We believe in one universal spirit, manifesting through all, natural and incarnated in us. We believe that the universal spirit is personal to and reveals itself through everyone who recognizes its presence. We believe that our faith operates upon a law of mind, which automatically manifests in our experience according to that faith. We believe in the unity of all life and in the immortality of the individual soul forever expanding. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the givingness of life to all. Stay standing, we're going to sing. Blessing Mike Carland as he is helping our one of our brothers and sisters up in Santa Clarita. He's speaking there today, which is the reason why he is not here. So we are blessing and opening, everybody filling in for Mike back there. So go ahead and have a seat. Give yourselves a big hand for opening. And it is my pleasure to have, I feel like I'm the opening act for Reverend Mike McMorrow. So I hope I did a good job of rising to the occasion.
Yes, thank you. That was great, except I'm really hungry now. Ready for some breakfast. So let me get my act together here. All right. So welcome again. Nice to see some of you I haven't seen for a while. Some of new visitors, so welcome. It's great that you're here visiting us today. And so I would just like to point out that our, even though the lettering is small, that the global vision for this month, which is through Centers for Spiritual Living, is loving kindness and forgiveness. And out of that, the talk title then is Unity, Not Uniformity. So And coupled with that then, the declaration of principle of which we have several, the one we are focusing on today is we see a world of peace, harmony, justice, and enfranchisement. So I understand that this may sound like a pipe dream this morning, when in the wake of yet another tragedy, yet another act of senseless violence, this time with a truck as a weapon, during the Bastille Day celebrations in Nice, France. And after the fact, of course, ISIS claiming responsibility, who knows? I understand something else happened on this morning around Baton Rouge or New Orleans, which is why I listened to sports radio on the way into church. Sad but true. So it gets difficult to address such issues, to be sure. And it adds only, I think it only adds to the tragedy to try and find simplistic reasons for these senseless acts. So if there is one thing, however, that all of these acts have in common, is that they are performed by deeply disturbed people who let their darkest emotions get the best of them, either in ways premeditated or in the heat of the moment. So if we are to see a world of peace, harmony, justice, and enfranchisement, we have to start with the one thing that we can control. We must mind our thinking in the onslaught of world affairs, whether in France, in Minneapolis, Baton Rouge, Dallas, Orlando, or maybe especially the thought crimes which may pass in our own consciousness around these events. So it has been a violent and bloody summer, to be sure. And yet, at the same time, first things first. We must be careful. We must be careful not to allow our fears of what's going on over there to transfer to what's going on in here. Important choices are to be considered over the summer. And we must have our wits about us for the choices to be made in November. So what to do? What to do? Well, first things first. The truth is that if you are in a place like this, the truth is that we are safe, that we are loved, that we are heard, that we are respected. And if you are not feeling this today, I'm telling you now, whether you are here this morning in this room for first time or long time visitors watching at home, that you are loved, that you are cared for, that we respect you for who you are. For who you are is a magnificent demonstration of the genius of the Creator itself. That we are here not to judge you or to judge each other, but rather to support you and to support each other. Right? This is the practice field. This is the practice field for game day out there. So we practice forgiveness. We practice forgiveness with each other here in our spiritual community, within ourselves for our perceived transgressions, and within our families, of course, on the job site, and within our discourse. And we practice. We're practicing forgiveness, yes? Yes. We practice forgiveness because some people need a lot of work. Right? Sometimes this needs a lot of work. Sometimes this needs a lot of work. So we practice forgiveness and loving kindness with our families. We have a place here where we can safely bring our confusion and maybe even resentment and release it, knowing that whatever is being revealed to be healed. And at the same time, we remember what the Sufi poet said when he wrote some 700 years ago. Raise your words, not your voices. It is rain that grows flowers, not thunder. Raise your words, not your voices. It is rain that grows flowers, not thunder. So we must mind our thoughts, for our thoughts create our words. Mind our words, for our words become our actions. Mind our actions, for they become our habits. And mind our habits, for they create our reality. That is what a tendency of thought is. Right? We shift our tendency of thought to create the world that we want rather than the one that no longer serves us. Yet we mind our habits to create our world. So I did not coin this turn of phrase, but it nicely encapsulates this practice that we call the science of mind. That we use this practice to awaken ourselves and humanity to its spiritual magnificence by whatever metaphor of God is most comfortable to you. We have listed a few here this morning. And at the same time, we recognize that we know only a little. That more is being revealed through the unfolding of our own lives, individually and collectively. So I wonder, do you understand that this is our mission here? To unfold and to know the spiritual magnificence that each of us has the potential to be. And in fact, we are being. Warts and all, baby. We're doing it. We just want to do it consciously. So it's too easy, speaking to violence, it's too easy to dismiss these acts of violence as Muslim extremism and not look deeper at the underlying causes. So we need to own that we as voters on both sides of the aisle have consistently sent people to Washington who did not speak out or vote against the war machine. We did not speak out against nation building when we had the opportunity. We didn't. We did not speak up for the death and suffering of hundreds of thousands of civilians affected by our war on terror. And bringing it closer to home, we did not speak to what was to become the prison industrial complex. We did not speak out against the 3 Strikes initiative because in our fear and longing for law and order, we did not consider fully the full consequences. Now, I'm going to guess that there were people who were speaking to it, but in our own fear and for our own wanting to know that we are safe, it fell on deaf ears. And so consequently, the disparities in practice now, the disparities on who is stopped, who is arrested, jailed, and shot, cannot be overlooked anymore. That it's time to have deeper conversations about race, about law enforcement, and how religion helps or gets in the way. And I'm speaking to radical extremism of all stripes, from the 3 Abrahamic religions and the political parties that manipulate them both here and abroad with fearful rhetoric. The time has come for us to have as people of faith to have deeper spiritual conversations. Yeah. This guy's pretty brutal, this cartoonist. He's got a TED Talk, by the way. An Irish fella, of course. Yeah. So, again, we want to raise our words and not our voice or our club. It is rain that grows flowers and not thunder. And can we recognize that when people want to talk about white privilege, that they are not accusing us of being racist? Right? Perhaps we can't see it because we've grown up in it. It's what we're used to. Perhaps we can't see it because we believe our position, once dominant, has eroded during our lifetime. But I have to say, not because there are more people of color, although they get the press. And yes, at the same time, there must be a discussion about self-responsibility. And at the same time, we must create a field for which that responsibility can happen and be embraced. So what we're witnessing are but symbols of deeper underlying issues. Right? That none of these things can demonstrate unless they are first a movement in consciousness, either consciously or unconsciously, and must be addressed in conscious ways. So the truth is, people who have jobs are too busy to get into mischief. Am I right? People who have jobs are too busy to get into mischief. Working people who are paid a living wage are not resentful, generally speaking. That we must create a way to support the children of working families that promote family harmony and good citizenship. That if we can speak about the structures that drive the resentment, frustrations, and behaviors behind them, then we can then define the solutions. And when the solutions are acknowledged and agreed upon, then act on them. That we must be willing to walk the talk. We have to walk the talk and be willing to pay for it. Be willing to pay for it. Because we already are. We're already paying for it. The cost of incarceration, the cost of blood, the cost of our youth, burdened with heavy levels of debt. From all races, yeah? So one thing we can do is to speak up and try to dialogue with rain, not thunder. And remember, as the carpenter said, right? So no sense wrangling with people who just like to wrangle. The carpenter said, "Cast not your pearls before swine." So pig-headed people interested more in talking than listening, in being right instead of enlightened, in creating walls instead of bridges are a waste of time for everybody, yes? Yes. That we can choose to be mindful, to be on the side that searches for truth, however inconvenient that may be for our current belief system. Do you hear that, liberals and progressives? Those of us who think we're so enlightened, that's not a conversation. Right? It's not a conversation either when it begins with, "Well, God told me." Right? This is not how do you even argue that? Well, while you're there, can you get the lotto numbers for next week? We can be mindful to be on the side that searches for truth, however inconvenient that may be for our current belief system, and then shift and lift our thinking to create new possibilities, to see a world of peace, harmony, justice, and enfranchisement. We may want to adopt certain practices, and I hope that I'm here. Yes, I am. Okay, so 3 spiritual practices that support peace, harmony, justice, and enfranchisement. All right, so this from Ernest Holmes. So the first being that peace and harmony insist that we are, right, so we must be willing to see others with sympathetic understanding. That feeling and knowing justice requires knowing the truth. Justice as freedom is our legacy, and that I'm acting on it. And that engaging in enfranchisement encourages being an ally to ensure legislation and political, social, educational, economic, and religious spiritual practices, promoting in ways both symbolic and substantive freedoms. So this offering from Dr. Francione up at CSL Oakland. Now, if we can consider and adopt these proposals, then the end result will be a conscious unity with all. And it can be a huge step in the commitment to create a world that works for all, not just those who may be protecting what they already have. The truth is there is enough. We live in an abundant universe. We live, move, and have our being in the all good of spirit. That unity, then, does not mean uniformity. And this is Holmes, right? So different thoughts and ideas are inherent in the nature of life. That we need this variety. We need this diversity. Look within the natural world. Right? Do you know that they're still discovering life forms on this planet in the Amazon? That's how abundant. I think of all the ones that are extinct, unfortunately. We live in an abundant universe, a diverse universe, a diverse planet. So we need this variety. But back of all of it, we need a sympathetic understanding of others. And so he asks us these questions. Have we kindness for each other?
Yes.
Have we kindness for each other?
Yes.
Are we flexible enough to know that everyone does not have to think alike in order to live together harmoniously?
Yes.
Are we able to reach across all differences of opinion to the common ground upon which we all stand?
Yes.
Yeah, you bet we are. So Ernest is speaking to acknowledging human dignity with these 3 simple questions. See or no? See. So, we cannot be born of the Spirit. Oh, I found this. Isn't that cute? Yeah. Yeah. We are the world. Yeah. Amen. So we cannot be born of the Spirit unless we do the will. And the will of Spirit is goodness, peace, mercy, justice, and truth. It is conscious union with God. So it may not look like it. It may look like we're here trying to demonstrate better jobs and a sweetheart and more creativity, in the 4 realms of life as we are working on in our hero's journey. But really what we are doing is demonstrating the law of life, demonstrating the law of good as our life. That our life then becomes not only the laboratory, but the testimony to the genius of the Creator to demonstrate our life for good. So, we cannot be born of the Spirit unless we do the will, and the will of Spirit is goodness, peace, mercy, justice, and truth. It is a conscious union with God. So here we experience not merely a response to our beliefs, thoughts, and acts. Rather, we become one with the will of higher vibrations. How good it is to be reminded that as we embrace our conscious union with the eternal energy of the living, we leap into an expanded field of vibration. And in this place, we experience our divine legacy, that justice shows up as love, as liberty. And this is the justice of our vision, our potential waiting recognition. So as we declare we envision a world of justice, we open ourselves up to deep spiritual work. This offering from Desmond Tutu, knowing cosmic justice is ever in motion. As our consciousness opens to the truth, our innate vibrations of justice as love, freedom, liberty flows in. Yes, we no longer dammed up by the burden of needing to feel, to pursue revenge, and now growing to release harboring feelings of hurt, anger, resentment. The mind is free to be forgiving, to see the perpetrators and oppressors as brothers and sisters in spirit, so that finally enfranchisement demands that any injustice, any act of oppression is a call to ensure that all are experiencing a life of freedom. That this life seems to catapult us into novel and multiple worlds, and how awesome it is to find ourselves in union with the Spirit, nudging us, prompting a decision be made, bringing stunning joyfulness in the midst of horrid conditions, yes, causing us to feel mystified, wondering what is unfolding now. And that these juicy, surprising, heavenly, sublime moments are calling us forth to be fully present inwardly, while we are vibrantly aware of expanded, even more demanding earthly events looming large before us at the same time. That the early alchemists of old called this state of being circulato, that field where you are simultaneously liberating the spirit from a lower vibration and dwelling into the higher reaches of wonder. Here, beloved, you are not merely seeking your own salvation. Rather, now you are energized to release the magnificence of spirit into this earthly plane. So let's call our musicians up forward. And while they take their place, we're going to take a deep breath. So now, sensing your sublime unity and dwelling in the rare paradox of diversity, in this moment, you vibrate with profound love so powerful that you are charged, yes, ignited with the sparks of passion insisting all are free to live full-orbed as sparks of the living fire, ablaze with the power of the life of good. Step forward, my beloved. You are here to ensure that every citizen of the planet has the right to fair, just, free, and abundant means to make full contributions to our human community. None inhabited by any cultural or national or systemic practices, laws, or conditions that inhabit a free flow of the eternal good flowing as their lives. And so it is.
sing with me. Okay? Now, when I say he's got the whole world, you're going to sing in his hands. Okay? Got that? I'm going to give it to you one more time. When I say he's got the whole world, you're going to say, yeah, that's beautiful. All right, let's do this. He's got the whole world
In his hand,
He's got the whole world.
in his hand,
He's got the whole wide world. He's got the whole world in his hand. He's got the
whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world.
his hand.
It's Miss Terry Page, Dale Clark, Dale, and of course, Ken Francis, our music director. Yes. And may God hold you in the palm of his hand as well. He's got the whole world, including your own life. Yes. So praise be to God. All right, so as our ushers prepare to come forward, we'll prepare our gifts for the offering.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
So going within, recognizing that the gifts presented here this morning are a demonstration of consciousness, a consciousness that knows and knows that it knows that God is our substance, our source, our supply. And so from the generous heart from the individual from which these gifts have been offered, we, representing the heart of this community, accept these gifts with deep respect, appreciation, and love. As we know, together they go forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless the vision and mission of this Center for Spiritual Living and everyone here, the lives of everyone here this morning, anyone connected to this center in any way. That we extend this blessing to our friends in our community of Granada Hills, our city of Los Angeles, our state of California, our United States of America, all of its churches, temples, mosques, schools, universities, the people who attend them, the people who support them. That we know that our planet as well is an unfolding of the very consciousness of the creative intelligence of God itself, expressing in, through, and as all of it, sometimes in wildly mysterious and camouflaged ways. And to the extent that we know this to be so, we see it demonstrating clearly and profoundly in all ways, great and small. We are lifted. We feel a sense of grace that empowers us into ways of spiritual living that lift ourselves and others for a greater world of good. And together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. So please help me thank Sandy and Bill, our ushers this morning. And as we call the kids in, just briefly, the hero's journey recommences on Thursday, this Thursday, so that starts at 7 o'clock. So bring your homework, your completed values, and other things. And we get to explore that together this week. Also, I did want to mention for Ken that this Friday, the Kirtan is a service. It's not a concert. So please come prepared to enjoy the music in a mindful and respectful way of this ancient tradition. It's very uplifting. If you've never experienced it before, I encourage you to come on down. The food trucks are down there. Just make sure you're done eating by the time you enter at 7 o'clock this Friday. Are you doing a little, I think you had a little refreshment thing going on?
Yeah, 6:30 to 7.
6:30, there'll be refreshment here also. So, not sure what's going on with the kids, but if they're not here in 30 seconds, really, 30, 29, 28. No, we don't want to put them on the spot. But, so I can tell you, however, I did want to point out that yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of our buddy Bob Nagayama's passing. So he's been on my mind a lot lately. And, Bob was one of these wildly irreverent fellows who we spoke many times together about religious science, history, and other things. And I miss him. And well, sail on, Bob, and thank you for your gift of who you are. Oh, so we have a big crew today. So let me get to this. Wow, somebody really got us squared away here. So who is our spokesperson this morning? How you doing, Adam? Sorry?
Bella and Nico.
Okay, so hop up here, Mella. I'm sorry, Ella. Bella. Yeah, I called you Mella. What's wrong with me? You don't look like a Mella. You look like a Bella. So how'd you do back there today?
We did patterns that are called
Mandela?
Mandela
By Bella.
by Bella.
Very nice.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so tell us what it is. Can I hold it up while you talk?
Mhm.
Okay.
So I did a picture of the sun. The sun is very important. It has energy that plants can have, and the green I did with this is with plants that the sun gives energy to, and all the lines is all the energy.
Very nice. A lot of deepage going on out there. All right, welcome back, Luca. Nice to see you. Yeah, nice. After your travels, I've been following you. All right, so thank you, parents, for bringing your kids. I can also say the teens are back from teen camp. They had a magnificent experience, and they will be here next week to share that with us. It's a very moving thing. So let's thank the band one more time. And call up Reverend Jessica for a short spiritual mind treatment.
Yes, and you'll notice our practitioners are circling the room. So if you have any issues around anything, just place it silently into this field of love that is so consciously awakened here. So I know that as we go forth this week, that we now have this conscious practice of knowing that we are in union with God in every single moment. Taking that one conscious bite during our meal, consciously driving, We are in conscious union with God, and this changes the planet. We are creating a world that works for everyone. And we can just relax into that, relax into the fact that it's happening because of who and what we are. Because we allow it to happen. We allow this love to flow. I am so very grateful for this awareness, for this agreement that we all have in this community, that we create a world that works for everyone in conscious union with God. So I release my word into the acts of the law from which it came, and we can affirm this by saying, and so it is. Amen.
Please stand for the peace song.